Hey, good morning. Pete, North Las Vegas. This will be the third video that I've done on this particular build. And I'm using a Rock River Arms 20-inch HBAR. It has a 1-in-9 twist, Wylde chambering, and it's parkerized or manganese phosphate, whatever you want to call it. And it's chrome lined. So anyway, this will be the final build video. And then I'll probably do one more video on it where we take it out and test fire it and see how well I can shoot it. So anyway, we'll talk a little bit about some of the final build stuff I used. The original goal was to try to keep this thing all 100% Rock River Arms, but that didn't work out. It ended up turning into a Franken gun. And so we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we'll move on to my handguard selection and why I chose the handguard that I chose. Okay, so like I was saying in the first clip, the original goal was to keep everything Rock River Arms, and that didn't work out for the receiver that I bought. It had a very loose upper to barrel extension fit. I mean, once you got this thing on here, you could literally move it and kind of feel it clicking around. So I didn't care for that. Like I said, very loose fit. And then the two lower receivers that I tried this on, it was a loose fit on those lower receivers also. It was kind of wobbly. And I had an old, well, not old, but I had a brand new Wylde Weaponry upper receiver, so I decided to go with that. It was a much snugger fit around the barrel, and virtually very little to no wobble or movement at all with the two lower receivers that I test fitted on. So that was the first thing I had to change up, and so the Wylde Weaponry was a much better fit. The other thing I ended up using was a DS Arms A4 detachable carry handle, and this was very well finished. You grab a hold of this rear sight and you can't hardly move it at all. It has no flex. I've got a Palmetto State Armory detachable where you can move this thing back to where like almost an 1/8 inch of the rear sight is showing past the handle as you rock it back and forth. It has so much slop in it. But all the machining on this was done very well. And there's the forging mark on it. That's brass aluminum, if you're not familiar with forging marks. When I bought this about 3 years ago, DS Arms said that they did their own machining of the forging in-house. So I'm sure all the bits and pieces, who knows where they sourced those from, but the actual machining of the aluminum forging, at the time, they said they were doing it, and it turned out to be surprisingly good quality. I have a couple of FN fowls that I built, and in the past I bought parts from them for that, but I never really associated them with making really top quality AR-15 parts. But as far as their carry handle went, DS Arms, at the time when I bought this, they made a very, very good carry handle. Okay, so this is what I'm using for the charging handle, and it's not really my favorite. I still like the Raptors, the Radian Raptors the best. And this is a good quality piece. I mean, it's made nice, it's machined nice. It's got the little raised section back here if you're running a suppressor. For me, the only thing is that the lever part here is a little bit too hooked for my liking, and this edge here is a little bit too pointy. If you don't get a hold of that just right, that can inflict a little bit of discomfort on you, unless you're wearing gloves or something. But I mean, it's not a bad charging handle. It's not my favorite. I just happen to have it sitting in my spare parts box, so I decided to go ahead and use it on this build. Okay, I also had a spare Aero Precision bolt carrier group. This is their non-logo, non-marked version, nitrided, and fit and finish on it, everything's top quality. No complaints with this. Okay, so in the last video, I talked about barrel net torque for a GI barrel net. Steel barrel net is 30 to 80 foot-pounds. But what I didn't mention in the video was what I used to keep the barrel and the receiver together while I tightened the barrel net. And in my opinion, this is probably the best rod on the market, and it's made by Midwest Industries. And I don't have any affiliation with them other than buying their stuff. One of the features that the Midwest Industries has is this top rail section here that fits up inside the receiver and captures the receiver, not just the barrel extension. So to me, that's a huge plus. And I won't mention some of the other names out there, but back when I bought this rod, this was the only manufacturer that put this in here to immobilize the receiver. So that keeps your receiver and your barrel extension together while you're tightening the barrel nut. So there's like just about no chance of anything moving around on you while you're tightening things up. Now, if you don't want this on here for whatever reason, maybe you're using this rod on some other type of platform other than an AR, and but it still uses the AR bolt carrier group and extension, but maybe the upper is designed a little bit different and you can't use this, so Midwest made it so you can remove it. You just take those Allens out and you can pop this off if you want. But if you're just doing a standard AR, you want this on here, in my opinion. But anyway, this is a very nice nitride finish. I usually put some blue painter's tape around the end here so I don't scar it up when I put it in the vise. And it's a very snug fit, and it does a very good job. And like I was saying, I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but I think it's the best one on the market. Okay, so I was going back and forth on handguards. Did I want to go with, something more Milspec, the old round handguards, not the newer goofy looking oval ones, but the original equipment. And what I've been running into is every time I try to use a standard handguard, and there's the Harris number 5 sling swivel or bipod adapter. And the problem I had is once you get this thing on the rifle, and I'll go ahead and put the bipod on just to explain it better, but once you get this on the rifle, you have these plastic locating tabs. You can see them right here, and those line up with the barrel tangs here, cutouts, notches. I don't know what you call those damn things. But anyway, you end up with a lot of slop. And because it's plastic and kind of a loose tolerance, and then you don't always get a real tight fit up here on your handguard cap on the front of this thing, what happens is once you get a bipod on here, and I'll put the bipod on and I'll show you, the bipod tries to keep the handguard from moving. So the bipod will immobilize the handguard, but the problem is because you have so much slop around the barrel nut and the handguard cap, the whole entire rifle wants to rotate inside the handguard. So you get a lot of slop. And it doesn't affect accuracy or anything like that. It's just annoying when you're trying to get your iron sights on target using the bipod with the Milspec handguards, and you got that much slop, that much rotation. So I'll put the bipod on here real quick just to kind of so you guys get a better idea of what I'm talking about if you're not familiar with this issue. Okay, so now that I have the bipod on the lower part of the handguard, and like I said, on some of my videos, I know that some things I talk about, people that are more familiar with the AR platform, you guys already know this, and but there might be people that are newer to the platform that don't know. So like I was saying in the clip a minute ago, once you get your bipod on here and you get this onto the rifle, what happens is because of the slop hooking up to the barrel nut and the front handguard cap, there's a lot of slop there. So the entire rifle wants to rotate inside the handguard. Now I'm rotating the handguard, but that's not what happens. The rifle actually rotates inside the handguard. And like I said, it doesn't affect accuracy, but it's annoying. So I've decided to go with Midwest Industries again. I've used some of their drop-in 2-piece handguards in the past, and you get a very, very solid lockup. And there's virtually no movement at all between the handguard and the rifle itself. So we'll get into the handguard, and I'll show you why it's such a good lockup. Okay, so they used to make flat dark earth, and Midwest Industries doesn't offer the drop-in, the two-piece drop-in in FDE anymore. I don't know why. You can only get them in black. And you can get them for carbine. I think they sell mid-length, rifle length. So they got all the different sizes, but you can only get them in black. Okay, so they did a great job in shipping. They double boxed everything. So that's kind of nice. They give you a crap load of stickers. There's more of them in the box. And they gave a little drink cozy. Keep your beer cold or whatever. And like I said, they did a really good job packaging. So now we'll get the handguard out and we'll go over why and how this is designed to where you get a good solid lockup if you're trying to run a bipod. Okay, so this is what you get with the Midwest Industries two-piece drop-in. Handguard itself, it's T-marked for those of you that like T-marking. I've mentioned it in other videos. I really don't care about T-marking. It doesn't really do anything for me. They also give you a piece of Picatinny. This is plastic, which is not my favorite. So I won't be using the plastic one that they gave. They give you a wrench too. We're going to go with an aluminum, and here's going to be the bipod mount that goes on the bottom. And both of these are mag pulls. So my understanding is these things are pretty tough. I mean, it's hard to mess them up, but I don't know. Me personally, I don't want a plastic one on there. That's just, I don't know. I don't know why I feel that way. Okay, you might not think you need instructions, but they're recommending that you put the top half in first and then put the lower half in. I'm thinking you could do it either way, but that's what they're suggesting, so that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to get these accessories mounted to the handguard. We'll get the handguard on and we'll take another look at the rifle. Okay, so I was mentioning earlier in the video how Midwest manages to get a much more solid lockup in the OEMs with the plastic locating tabs, pins. Midwest Industry uses steel, and they have a much tighter tolerance around the barrel net. So that's how they managed to get a good solid lockup on the rear. And then on the front, once again, the part that fits on the triangular end cap, handguard cap, is also much closer tolerance. And these steel pins also give you another advantage. They're not going to wear out, so you can pop your handguard off and on. You can be a little rough with the handguard, and your tolerances should stay tight over the long haul. All right, well, let's get this thing on the rifle. Okay, so it's on there. I actually had to use my tool. It was a very tight fit, and I don't think I was going to be able to do it with just my hands to collapse that delta ring far enough to get the handguard on, but it's a very, very tight, snug fit. And there is absolutely no movement at all. It is a completely solid lockup. It's completely one piece with the upper now. No movement at all. So was the primary goal, was when using a bipod, not to get any rotation. And so this is the third one that I've purchased from Midwest Industries over the years. And same good quality, same good tight fit. Okay, so I'm planning on buying a lower just for this rifle. And I just put my carbine lower on it for now, just to test fit things. But I'll be getting a standard A2 buttstock. The idea was also to get more of a kind of a legacy look. So anyway, that's it. Pete, North Las Vegas. Over and out. Oh yeah, I don't know if I already mentioned it, but just one last thing left to do on this rifle, and that's take it out to the range and see how well it shoots, or how well I can shoot it.